Alright, so the other day my friend on Discord sent me a text. He was procrastinating doing like some editing for his YouTube channel, and it, funny enough, gave me the idea for this YouTube video. Because the number one question I get asked on Discord or just in person and stuff by young men is, how do I stop procrastinating? Like, you know, I really want to get my work done, but it seems that every single time I want to go to do my work, I just tell myself I'll spend a little bit longer on YouTube or a little bit longer on Instagram, and then I always procrastinate my work, and then I feel so terrible after. So I know I say, I guarantee this video will help you a lot, but I genuinely guarantee that at least one of these steps is going to help you almost completely, if not completely, get rid of procrastination, because these steps are so effective, and these are the steps that stop me from being a lazy, unproductive person to being who I am now. So the first step, which is the most important, so I need you to pay maximum attention, is do the first steps of your work. Start to get into the motions of doing your work. Say you really have trouble with filming YouTube videos or something. This is all I can think about because I'm currently filming a YouTube video. If you have trouble filming YouTube videos and you always procrastinate it, and you always tell yourself, alright, I'll just go through the script one more time and then I'll film and stuff, and you always end up not doing it, the best thing to do would be to set up your lighting, you know, get the lights set up, get the lights in the background, put your camera where you want it to be, make sure everything's set up. And then just tell yourself, alright, that's all I gotta do. I'm just gonna start, set up all my gear, and then I'll go back to what I was doing. If you're on Instagram and you're like, alright, now I need to go film, just be like, alright, yeah, I'll just go set up the lighting and everything, and then I'll come back. Fair enough, you might actually go back. But you'll find that once you start getting into the motions, you set up the camera, you put in the lighting, you're like, actually, I feel like filming now. Yeah, okay, yeah. Now I'll start to film, and then I'll see, and you do like 5 more minutes of work, and then the next thing you know, you've got 3 videos filmed. To bring up my friend's example of video editing, if he were to just tell himself like, oh man, you know, I got like 1 to 3 hours of video editing, I really can't be bothered to do that. That would be such a pain right now. If he were to just tell himself like, no, I'm just gonna open the video editor, take all my clips, download them to the video editor, and then I'm done. That's all I gotta do. I'll just set it up and then I'll do it later. I'll do it tomorrow or something. You would actually find that once you did that, once you open the video editor app, once you put in the clips, that you would actually feel like editing. So once you start to get into the motions of doing whatever task you're procrastinating, you'll find that you actually don't really feel like procrastinating anymore. So the reason this works is because the bridge in between you not doing your work and you doing your work gets shortened. Right now, alright, say you're on Instagram, you're over here, you're on the other side of the bridge. This is your work, this is you right now. We need to try and get you as close to doing your work as possible, because right now you don't want to cross the bridge, you don't want to start doing your work. But if we can get you to cross the bridge just quickly, oh yeah, I'm just going to quickly cross the bridge, I'm going to quickly set up my lighting, you're already across. So it becomes much easier to just stay there and do your work. So the second extremely important step is to make it fun. Now I don't mean make it fun like, oh yeah, watch Netflix while you do your work. I mean find little ways to make your work more enjoyable. Even if that means sacrificing a little bit of productivity to make the work more enjoyable, if that helps you start to do the work, it'll be easier to get rid of that. So say you want to listen to some music and like, not like music with lyrics, but say you want like a little bit of music while you're doing your work. Even though that music might not make you focus as well, if it gets you into the motions, as we mentioned, if it helps you cross the bridge and start to do your work, then it will be a lot easier for you to do it. Just a little side rant here, but the easiest way to think of procrastination is a bridge. You're over here, you're on Instagram, you're doing whatever, you don't want to do your work, and this is your work, and there's a bridge in between. The bridge is procrastination, and you want to get your work done. If you think of it like that, what things are going to help you cross the bridge? And even if you cross the bridge 1/4 of the way, it will be easier to go to the other side of the bridge. So now that you know that, I'll continue with the other step. But if you make it fun, the bridge seems more enjoyable. It's kind of funny, but if your bridge is a big hill, you gotta climb the bridge and then get to the other side. Alright, you're not gonna want to do it. But if you make your work seem so fun that, you know, maybe the climb is still there, but you're like, oh, the other side, it's almost like a rainbow. You're like, oh, there's a pot of gold there, like it will be fun, like it's fun work. Then of course you'll want to cross the bridge. So if you have like maybe a little sugary drink or something, I'm not promoting this stuff unless you absolutely need it. Say you already eat junk food and stuff. Find a way to incorporate junk food into doing your work. So you really procrastinate video editing and stuff. You're like, oh man, like I really just don't want to video edit. What you should do is, say you like Skittles. Bring a little bag of Skittles with you while you do your work. And every time you write, I don't know, a certain part of a script, or you do a little bit of your video editing, you give yourself a Skittle. And then each time you do it, you do the work, you do the work, you do the work, Skittle. You do the work, Skittle. Because say this is your favorite candy, you love Skittles, like you just want to eat them all day. But you limit yourself to only eat Skittles while you're doing your work. Now you'll want to do your work because you're like, I love Skittles, so I want to do my work because that means I get my favorite candy. Because before it was, alright, yeah, I don't really want to do my work. Yeah, I'll do this thing really quickly and then I'll go do my work. You're procrastinating, but then when you're like, alright, on the other side of the bridge, once we pass this bridge of procrastination, there's the Skittles there. There's the reward I want. There's that pot of gold. Now it makes you want to cross the bridge more. Now you're like, alright, well, Instagram's pretty good, but my favorite candy is on the other side of the bridge. So you're like, you might still stay. Like, fair enough, like, if you're really there and you're like, oh, no, I just really don't want to do it. It's not even worth it to get the Skittles. Sure. But you might be like, you know what? I kind of want those Skittles, though. So, yeah, I'll put the phone down. And this requires a little bit of discipline, too. So you still need to have a little bit of discipline. This isn't like some magic way of like, alright, if you're undisciplined and you always procrastinate, this is going to fix it completely. You still need a little bit of discipline to fix procrastination. But this definitely makes it easier. This almost shortens the bridge because you want to get to the other side more. You want to get that reward when you're doing your work. So you always procrastinate going to the gym. The best thing to do would be to just put on your favorite playlist, your absolute favorite playlist, the best music you have, and only listen, maybe not only listen, but mostly listen to it when you go work out. Because that will make it more enjoyable. That will make it seem like the other side of the bridge isn't as hard. And I don't even really promote people listening to music when they go work out. But if you're like someone, you're like, oh man, I really don't want to go work out, and this helps you get to the gym, it's worth it. Because although, yeah, it's probably not as good for you to listen to music when you work out, and like, I don't even really listen to it, but gyms play music and stuff, so you're always kind of listening to music when you're working out. So if you make the process more enjoyable and you listen to that favorite playlist, you'll want to go to the gym more because you'll be like, oh yeah, you'll be getting all hyped up and you'll be like, yeah, this is actually pretty fun. You're like listening to your favorite music, you got like UK drill bumping through your headphones, you're like, yeah, this is fucking sick, like, alright, I'm gonna go work out, I'm gonna go jack some heavy ass weights. That makes it more enjoyable. Because when I first started working out, I'd just be like, oh, I gotta go lift weights, and I'm just gonna listen to my regular playlist, and like, my regular playlist was just like, I don't know, like sad songs and shit. But then after like the first or second time I worked out, I was like, no, let me put on some really good music. Also, let me buy this hydration drink. Like, I'd buy like some like Gatorade or something, which again, might not be the best for you. But if buying that little Gatorade, if having a little sugary drink with you when you're working out, like not like a super sugary drink, like not Coca-Cola 70 grams of sugar, but you got something that's got like 10 grams of sugar, it's like a little hydration drink or something. And it actually probably benefits you a little bit. I mean, it's a hydration drink, but like, it kind of benefits you. Just having that good drink, and I would always get hyped up. And like when I first started, I got this pre-workout that tasted really good, and I would actually look forward to my workout just to take the pre-workout, because I like the taste of the pre-workout and I like the way it made me feel so much that I'd be like, oh yeah, I can't wait to work out because I get to take a scoop of pre-workout, and like afterwards I get to have a protein shake, so like, yeah, it's gonna be so sick. Alright, I can't wait to work out because of the pre-workout, the music, plus the protein shake. I had all the goodies on this side of the bridge. I'm scrolling on Instagram, that's probably what I was doing back then. I'm scrolling on Instagram, I'm like, oh, I don't really want to go to the gym. Pre-workout, my favorite playlist, and protein powder afterwards. I'm like, doesn't sound too bad, I could go work out. Instagram, like, you know what, let me just go get into the motion, put the pre-workout in the cup, shake it around, I'll scroll on Instagram while I drink it. But then, obviously the pre-workout kicks in and you're like fucking hyped up, you're like, oh, yo, I'm gonna go fucking hit this workout. So in my opinion, even if you need something sugary to make your work more enjoyable, it is worth it because the benefit is better than the downside. Now this final step is super, super important, especially if you're a young man who like works out or you do like entrepreneurship and stuff, because it is a very easy trap to fall into. And that is the trap of productive procrastination. Now sometimes this isn't as bad because sometimes when you're procrastinating work and you're doing productive procrastination, you're like, okay, you're watching a podcast or something instead of doing your work, it can still benefit you. But it is also a really big trap, especially for us who are like, oh no, I don't procrastinate, I've deleted Instagram, I've deleted social media, so I don't procrastinate, but I'm just gonna watch this podcast, then I'll edit. I'll edit that YouTube video, I just gotta watch this podcast. And this is actually the exact trap my friend fell into, and this is one of the main reasons I made this video, because I know a lot of people who fall into this trap. He was telling me how, oh man, this work's kind of hard. And I was telling him like, no man, you got this. Like, you can just do it. It'll just be some quick video editing. Just like start to get into the motions of it. And he was like, you know what? Yeah, sure. He was like, yeah, I really want to get subscribers and stuff, so I'll do it. But first, I just want to take some notes on this podcast that I was listening to earlier. The moment I realized that, I was like, bro, that's just another form of procrastination, because unless those notes, unless you know that podcast is going to immediately give you some tips that will help you with video editing, it's just procrastination. Because you're telling yourself, alright, it will be really valuable, and it will be really valuable, but later. Why do you need to do it right before you do your work? Well, because you want to procrastinate. That's the reason that you do it. That's the reason that you're like, all right, let me watch this podcast really quick, and then I'll go do my work, and then yeah, it'll be all good because this is a productive podcast, and this is productive procrastination. So in a way, you watching this video is almost the exact thing I'm explaining. You're watching this video because you're like, all right, I'm procrastinating right now, let me watch this video, and then I'll go do my work because it will help me out. And yeah, these steps have helped you, but this in a way is productive procrastination. You know which work you need to go do. You know, all right, yeah, I gotta go video edit and I gotta go do some schoolwork or something, but you're just choosing not to. You're basically telling yourself, all right, no, I'm not gonna go do that work, but I am gonna go do that work, but let me just watch this first. If you just reframe it, I'm not gonna do the work, I'm gonna watch this first, you might not be as inclined to do it. Because right now you're telling yourself, I'm gonna do it, then I'm gonna do the work. But this isn't gonna benefit you with the work you're gonna do. I'm not explaining to you how to do, I don't know, math or something. I'm not actually helping you do the work. So as much as you think it's productive to be watching this video, it'd actually probably be more productive to do your work. So this is the biggest procrastination trap that almost all people on self-improvement fall into. So you need to realize this trap before you fall into it and immediately change its course. If you realize you're walking into the trap, walk around, skip the trap, go to your work. That's what you need to do. In this bridge analogy again, you're on the bridge. There's a trapdoor waiting in the middle for you to fall into, especially if you're someone who's pretty disciplined and you're gonna tell yourself oh no, I have no problem doing work. I don't spend time on Instagram, so it'd be easy for me to just start my work. But first, as you're crossing the bridge to go do your work, you're you know what, I could watch an Andrew Tate podcast or something, because he'll give me good business advice and stuff, and yeah, he probably will, but why not later? Right now, you need to do your work. If you know there's work to do, you need to do your work. All those podcasts, all these videos like this, yeah, they're great and they will really help you out with life, and I know that you will get some serious good business advice and stuff online. But if you know there's work you need to do, the work comes first. Videos like this are for afterwards. Videos like this are for after you do your work. You know, you're eating your meal and stuff because you're oh yeah, I just did some work and now I'm gonna eat my lunch, and then, yeah, sure, turn one of these videos on. Because that's the time to do it. But when you have work to do, don't fall into the trap. Alright, I hope this video helped you, and this is the one time my quote actually makes a lot of sense for the video, and that is be a doer, not a thinker, and go do your work, bro. Stop watching this video. Click off right now. Don't click on the other videos. You can save those to your watch later. I'm the only YouTuber who's gonna tell you don't watch my other videos. Go down right now and click on the subscribe and post notification button to get more advice like this. Alright, take it easy, bro. See ya.